Control anger before it controls you. We all understand what anger is and have experienced it at some point, whether it was a brief annoyance or a full-blown rage. Anger is an entirely typical and typically positive human emotion. But when it spirals out of control and becomes destructive, it can cause issues at work, issues in your personal relationships, and issues with your life's overall quality. What is anger? According to Charles Spielberger, PhD, a psychologist who specializes in the study of anger, anger is an emotional state that ranges in intensity from mild irritation to intense fury and rage. Similar to other emotions, anger is accompanied by physiological and biological changes. For example, when you get angry, your blood pressure, heart rate, and levels of the hormones adrenaline and noradrenaline all increase. Expressing anger. Responding violently is the automatic, natural way that anger is expressed. Anger inspires strong, frequently aggressive feelings and behaviors that enable us to fight and defend ourselves when we are attacked. Anger is a natural, adaptive response to threats. Therefore, some level of anger is essential for our survival. People deal with their angry feelings in a variety of conscious and unconscious ways. The three main strategies are calm, suppress, and express. The best way to deal with anger is to express it in a confident, non-aggressive manner. To achieve this, you must learn how to express your needs and how to meet them without hurting other people. Respecting yourself and others means being assertive without being pushy or demanding. Anger can be contained, then transformed or directed. This occurs when you suppress your rage, put it out of your mind, and concentrate on the good. Your anger is to be contained or suppressed in order to channel it into more useful behavior. If your anger isn't allowed to find an outlet outside of yourself, it could turn inward and toward you. Anger that is directed inward can result in depression or high blood pressure. Anger management. The aim of anger management is to lessen the physiological arousal that anger causes as well as your emotional feelings. You cannot change, avoid, or get rid of the things or people that irritate you, but you can learn to control your reactions. Are you too angry? There are psychological assessments that gauge how angry you feel, how easily you get angry, and how well you control your anger. But if you do have an anger management issue, chances are good that you already know it. You may need assistance finding more effective ways to deal with this emotion if you notice yourself acting in ways that seem frightening and out of control. Why are some people more angry than others? Some people are actually more hot-headed than others, says Jerry Deffenbacher, PhD, a psychologist who specializes in anger management. They become angry more quickly and intensely than the average person. Others are chronically irritable and grumpy but don't express their anger in overtly dramatic ways. People who get upset easily don't always curse and throw things. They can also withdraw socially, mope, or become ill. It's common for people who are easily irritated to have what some psychologists refer to as a low tolerance for frustration, which simply means that they believe they shouldn't have to experience frustration, inconvenience, or annoyance. They are unable to accept things as they are and become especially enraged if something seems unfair, such as when they are reprimanded for a small error. Family history has been linked to behavior, according to research. People who are easily offended typically come from chaotic, disruptive families who struggle with emotional expression. Is letting it all hang out a good thing? This myth is now regarded as dangerous by psychologists. Some people abuse others using this theory as justification. According to research, expressing your anger outwardly only serves to fuel more hostility and aggression rather than aiding you or the target of your rage in resolving the conflict. It's best to identify what makes you angry and then create coping mechanisms to prevent those triggers from sending you over the edge. Strategies to keep anger at bay. Relaxation. Deep breathing and calming imagery are two straightforward relaxation techniques that can be used to reduce anger. You can learn relaxation techniques from books and courses, and once you do, you can use those techniques whenever you need to. It might be a good idea for both of you to learn these strategies if you are in a relationship with a hot-tempered partner. Cognitive reorganization. To put it simply, this entails altering your thought process. People who are angry often swear, use strong language, or otherwise express their feelings in these ways. Your thoughts can become overly dramatic and exaggerated when you're angry. Replace these ideas with more sensible ones by trying. Say to yourself, "It's frustrating, and it's understandable that I'm upset about it, but it's not the end of the world, and getting angry is not going to fix it anyhow," as opposed to, "Oh, it's awful, it's terrible, everything's ruined." Remind yourself that getting angry is not going to fix anything, that it won't make you feel better, and may actually make you feel worse. Logic fails because anger, even when it is justified, can easily degenerate into irrationality. So examine yourself using reason and logic. Remind yourself that the world is not out to get you, and that you are merely going through some of the difficult times that come with daily life. Every time you feel your anger getting the better of you, do this to help yourself gain a more objective viewpoint. People who are angry frequently make demands, such as fairness, appreciation, agreement, and a readiness to do things their way. People who are angry demand these things, and when their demands aren't met, their disappointment turns to anger. Everyone wants these things, and we are all hurt and disappointed when we don't get them. Problem solving. Sometimes the very real, unavoidable problems in our lives are the root of our rage and frustration. Not all anger is inappropriate. In fact, it frequently serves as a healthy, natural reaction to these challenges. Additionally, there is a cultural presumption that every issue has a solution, which makes it even more frustrating when we learn that this isn't always the case. Therefore, the best mentality to adopt in this circumstance is to not concentrate on finding a solution, but rather on how you approach and deal with the issue. Plan ahead and monitor your progress as you go. Make a commitment to doing your best, but also to refrain from criticizing yourself if you don't get an answer right away. Better communication. Angry people have a tendency to draw hasty conclusions, some of which can be seriously wrong. If you find yourself in a heated argument, take a moment to compose yourself before responding. Slow down and give your words some thought rather than speaking the first thing that comes to mind. Take your time before responding while paying close attention to what the other person is saying. Using humor. In many ways, silly humor can help diffuse anger. One benefit is that it might enable you to gain a more impartial viewpoint. Think about what that word would actually look like before you call someone a name or refer to them in an irrational way. Imagine a big bag of dirt, or an amoeba, sitting at your coworker's desk, talking on the phone, and attending meetings. For example, if you think of your coworker as a dirt bag or a single-cell life form at work, every time you think of someone else's name, do this. Draw a representation of how the actual thing might appear if you can. This will take a lot of the edge off your fury, and humor can always be relied on to help out a tense situation. Changing your environment. Our immediate environment can sometimes be the source of our annoyance and rage. You may feel burdened and resentful of the trap you seem to have fallen into, as well as the individuals and things that make up that trap as a result of your problems and obligations. Take a break for yourself. For times of the day that you are aware are particularly stressful, make sure you have some personal time scheduled. One illustration is the working mother who has a standing rule that nobody talks to mom unless the house is on fire for the first 15 minutes after she gets home from work. After this brief period of solitude, she feels better equipped to deal with her children's demands without losing her temper. Do you need counseling? Consider counseling to learn better coping strategies if you believe your anger is truly out of control, affecting your relationships and other significant aspects of your life. You can collaborate with a psychologist or other qualified mental health professional to develop a variety of techniques for altering your thoughts and actions. Inquire about their approach to anger management when speaking with a potential therapist, and let them know that you want to work on your anger issues. Verify that this isn't just a strategy meant to put you in touch with your feelings and express them, because that may be the root of your issue. According to psychologists, a person who is extremely angry can move toward a middle level of anger with counseling in 8 to 10 weeks, depending on the situation and the techniques employed.